Namaste. Welcome to Buddha's teaching. Today we are talking about awareness and mindfulness. These two terms have been used interchangeably in Buddhism. Are they the same or are they different? If they are different, what are they? And what is it that they are talking about when it comes to awareness or mindfulness? When we talk about awareness or mindfulness, we of course talk about our mind, right? Because the Buddha taught about our mind, the main concentration. So that is the reason why we've been talking about body and mind has been the concentration in the last few episodes at least. As you have seen in at least a couple of previous episodes before, we talk about the mind faculties, okay, and what they are. So those are the ingredients, okay. And then we talk about each mind object in each particular mind moment, okay, as some couple of example in the last episode number 13, okay. So the reason we do this study is because it's it's the same thing as we are putting the puzzle together, okay. um, each episode is like a piece of puzzle. We don't really have the big picture yet, but we need to understand each piece of the puzzle first, what they are, and then after a while all the different pieces of puzzle we can put together, and then we get a complete understanding what the teaching is all about, what it leads us to. So the puzzle right now that we're talking about is after we have seen the mind moment. Each mind moment arise uh, depending on condition, and then it pass away, and then it arise again depending on the next condition, then it pass away, okay. So as you see the picture of the mind that we have shown, okay, each mind moment arise and it has different ingredients in it, and and one of at any particular moment of the mind, when the mind arise, whether it is a wholesome mind moment or unwholesome mind moment or neutral, neither wholesome nor unwholesome, depending on the condition that makes the mind arise, make the mind happens, okay. And those conditions, as we know, the condition for the mind is that in the encounters that are five senses here: the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, and the sensation of our body here encounter and experience, okay, the world. And these are these are the condition that comes into us and get and it goes into sense number six, the we call the citta in Pali word, cita. So it goes into the citta, or another word is called mano. It's the same thing, the same meaning, mano or citta, okay, the sixth sense. And from the sixth sense, our mind, when our mind react, okay, when our mind react, it generate emotion based on what we experience, right? So that's how our mind arise, okay, based on condition. We see things, we smell things, and all of that. And when we experience that, and the mind, the sixth sense, mano, generate the reaction. Okay, so one mind moment at a time, it changes from one moment to the next, depending on the condition, depending on what we uh, experience. Okay, depending on the contact that we receive. Okay, everything, the sight, the sound, the smell, the taste, and the physical touch, everything here comes in, it create the mind arise. Okay, um, so it's when we asleep. Okay, the five senses um, go to sleep, right? Take a rest. So when our five senses take a rest, we there is no I in there anymore, right? Of course, because there is no awareness, there is no recognition or anything, and the mind goes to sleep. So when the mind goes to sleep, we are nowhere to be found. Okay, so that's why we call it's what we call selfless I. The I only appears. Okay, a sense of I only appears when we are awake. Okay, well, when we are asleep, the I disappear. It's poof, it's gone. Right? We don't know what happened. Nothing. It is as if we die, and as a matter of fact, that's exactly what it is. Okay, when we sleep, when we go into a sleep, it's exactly as if we die. Okay, so it's from one moment to the next. When we have the gap, it's the same thing. The gap between each mind moment, if we have no recognition, it's the same thing as we die. All right, but of course our body takes care of the well-being, right, or the function of the body. Okay, so when we go to sleep, even though our five senses shut down, take a rest, but there's an underlying consciousness, a current that is running, that is humming at the low frequency, that keep the energy of the body humming and running, right, while the five senses take a rest, while the five senses stop experiencing the world. Okay, um, the energy of our consciousness is still functioning at a lower level. Okay, at a lower level, which are not, in another word, subconscious mind is still running, but we are not aware of it. There are times that we get into dreams and things like that, so that is in between. Okay, that is in between um, the full awake, that we awake, and the deep sleep, that the running humming current underneath. Okay, so the energy or the current, the life energy that keep us running when we sleep, okay, that has nothing to do with our mind. Okay, that because our mind arise. Okay, our mind arise only when the five senses arise, when the five senses working. Okay, when there's no five senses, this mind goes to sleep, there's no mind, there is no I. The self I that we refer to all the time, that I am this, I am that, is based on that. All right, that's why the Buddha said, um, look again. When you identify yourself as this, as that, I am this, I am that, where is that I? We cannot find that I. The I is just an illusion, and in a way that we think that it exists. The reason is because the flow of the energy, the flow of the experience that we encounter, it goes very fast. It seems solid, right? Like an example that I gave about the fireworks or the candle that we lit, and we move it fast. It seems like there's a circle of light, but actually there's no circle. It's just one light at a time, right? Another example that a lot of people have heard of is the stream. Okay, the water stream that are running, you see the stream of water that are running. You look at the stream, you see the water running, or the river, you see it flowing. Okay, but as they have said, you cannot touch the same water twice, right? The water that you touch there, you can, if you go to touch that same place again, it's not the same water. That water that you touched 1 second ago is gone. Okay, it's a new water, but you don't know because it appears that it's the same water, but it's not. The same thing as our mind. The mind that we identify ourselves with, I am this, I am that. Okay, the mind, our mind here is the result of our experiences. Okay, so it's a continuous flow of energy that the mind is working, okay, to interpret all the experience, the encounter, the vision, the hearing, the sound, and all that. So that is continuous, okay, non-stop. As soon as we are awake, that's continuous. So because of that continuous processing of the mind, it appears the mind itself think of itself as something exists, right? Because it's right there. It's, you see, you smell, you taste, and all that. It's there. How can you deny that I don't exist, right? So, but when you look at it, it's a continuous flow of experience that we are encountering right now. As you were seeing me talking, as you are hearing me talking, it's a continuous experience that you are receiving. Okay, so if I stop, let's say, then there's no sound, right? The mind, there's no sound, there's no mind that is associated with the sound, right? So if I were to turn off the camera, all right, so let's say, for example, you don't see, right? So the flow of energy that we are receiving, okay, the flow of energy that we are receiving, because it's continuous and it happens so fast, we think that it's solid in a way, okay, and because of that, the mind think of itself as something exists, all right. So that is the ignorance that the Buddha refers to, that, oh, okay, this is the delusion that we all refer to as a self I, that I exist, right? But it in fact, there is no I anywhere. It's just the experience that these five senses encounter and interpret, right? But all of these things here is happening is based on energy, right? There's life energy underneath it. That life energy is always running, is always humming, whether we uh, know it or not, it doesn't matter. When we go to sleep, we don't know, but the life energy that we have that is running, that what enables this body here to function, and it enables the five senses to function, it enables the mind to function, it enables the memory to keep operating. Okay, so for example, like the baby, when the baby first was born, the baby do not recognize the parent's face, right? When the baby start to when the baby's eyes start to function, when the baby look at the face of the parent, the eye opens big. They have no clue who those people are, right? Who the parents are. All they know is when they're hungry, the body cry. Okay, the body cry because the body hungry, or have some kind of ache or pain. The body cry. But only after the baby develops the brain, right? As the brain develop, and it start to register, and it start to have memories of the experience, then the baby start to recognize the face that feed them, right? That nurture them, that give them pleasure. So now the baby start to recognize based on memory, okay, and then it develop attachment, okay. So that's all there is to us. For us, for all human being, okay, we identify with everything here based on our memory, okay. So the way of upbringing, what when we are brought up in different society, in different corner of the world, of course. So because of that, the the experience that get embedded into our brain, into our memory, shape how the mind think, shape how the mind function, how the mind react to things, okay. um, but at the baseline, at the very bottom, if you take out the experience that we accumulate over the lifetime, at the base level we are all the same energy, life running with brain, okay. But the brain or the that soup is just have different kind of um, influence onto it, okay. So for example, if you have a baby who was born in Europe, and you take the baby and to live in Asia, and have the baby grow up with Asian family, the baby may look have the skin color of the European people, but everything else is Asian, and vice versa, the same way, right? So how is it that we identify ourselves? It's pretty much it's just based on how we grow up, right? Based on the experiences that we grow up since we learn, okay. And because of that, people discriminate against each other because of experiences. That is very unfortunate, because those experiences are just experience that we receive, that we embed in the memory, but that should not separate us from who we truly are as human being. As human being, it's all the same at the base level, okay. There's body, there's mind, there's brain, and it functions the same way, okay. But it's because of different influence of the country, of the culture, of the environment, it shape people differently to think differently. That's all there is to it, okay. So come back to the self I. When the mind moment arise up and then disappear, rise up, disappear, okay, depending on the encounter that we have, right? So now it comes to the teaching about awareness, okay. um, as we have seen in previous episode about mind faculties, we see in the 52 mind faculties, right? They are unwholesome, they are neutral, and they are wholesome, right? Mind faculties. And of course, they are the base ingredients that generate our mind, which is wholesome, unwholesome, or neutral. Okay, so the three stage, the three kinds of mind that we have, right? Wholesome, neutral, and unwholesome. Okay, so with this, what the Buddha taught is that now the mind changed like this, okay, from being neutral, okay, based on the condition that the five senses experience at one moment of the time, the mind is at a neutral state. At another moment of the time, the mind is happy, the mind is joyful, is glad. Let's say you go to a botanical garden, you go see flowers and see birds and stuff, the mind is joyful, okay? Or at another time, when the mind has issue, the mind has greed or has anger, get into fight and create all kinds of anger and hatred, the mind is unwholesome. Okay, depending on the condition. So it's just that. So the mind arise and disappear. Okay, the mind that you have 1 minute ago is not the same as the mind that you have right now. Okay, just think back to the water stream analogy. Okay, the river water, you can never touch it twice. The same thing as our mind. Our mind here, it keeps flowing, it keeps going. Okay, the mind that we have 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, that mind is gone. Okay, and it keeps going. The mind keeps going like that. And you don't have to do anything. We are not doing anything. The mind operates like this by itself, right? As long as the body is working, as long as this body is alive, is functioning, the mind operates by itself. Okay, now there's many. I know there are many questions about that. What about that we think? Who does the thinking and all that? Okay, and who does the moving? And that is separate. That is more that we have to talk to. But everything is based on desire. But that is into for future talk. Anyway, so we're back to awareness and mindfulness. Okay, so the Buddha said by becoming aware of our mind function, that okay, the mind works like this. When it encounters that, whatever the view that you see, what emotion that arise, become aware of that emotion. Okay, because that is the natural way that the mind works. So that's how you observe. Okay, when you see things, you see the leaf, what is the reaction of the mind, right? You become aware of the reaction of the mind. You become aware of your own mind reaction, your own way of thinking, right? Is the mind think about wholesome or unwholesome thought or neutral? See, that is what we call awareness. We become aware of the mind becomes aware of itself. That's what it means. Okay, awareness. Awareness is when we have whatever feeling, whatever emotion, whether sadness, okay, whether we have joy or we are not happy, we upset or angry, we become aware of all those emotions, and we become aware that these are the natural phenomenon, these are the reaction of the mind. Okay, become aware of that. You become aware of the mind that is doing this function, that is doing it by itself. After a while, you will start to notice that you're not doing the angry. You cannot become angry. All right, you cannot make your mind angry. Your mind becomes angry. There is reason. There's condition that makes it angry, that makes it upset, that makes it yell, things like that, right? You don't want to yell, but automatically uh, you yell, right? You scream, but that's not what you want to do, but it happens. Okay, why is it? It's because of the condition. So you become aware of this. Mind works. Okay, how your mind works, how your mind reacts. That's what we call awareness. All right, that's what we call awareness. Okay, so that is the first step that the Buddha tell us to do. Just become aware of our own emotion, of our own thinking. What is it the mind is thinking about? Right? Is the mind thinking about something wholesome or unwholesome or neutral? Okay, become aware of itself. There is no who no you doing anything, but this is the mind. This is the mind talking. Okay, the reason, and there's always reason. There is desire behind that. That's why this mind here is doing the talking. And the reason is because this mind here would like to share the information that this mind has received from others. Okay, there is desire behind it, and there is a reason that, and this mind here believe that by understanding this process of the mind, it helps the mind to be at peace. It helps your mind to be calm, to understand things. Okay, that's the reason why this mind here is trying to relay the message that this mind received from others also. All right. So awareness is that. So the word awareness uh, in Pali language is called sati, S-A-T-I. Okay, having a sati meaning having awareness of yourself, of your own way of thinking, okay, of your own way of feeling and emotion. Okay, so that is the first step, because when you know, when there's unwholesome feeling arise or there's unwholesome thought arise, you become aware of it, and you say, oh, unwholesome feeling arise. Okay, and then from that you and you can say that's not I want, but the mind is creating it. Okay, based on the desire that the mind like or don't like, the mind create this wholesome or unwholesome thought or unwholesome feeling and emotion that makes the mind yell, scream, talk, or do something, right? Because the mind is the operator. It's the king that controls everything, right? So, but as you become aware of this, you can say, okay, do I want to do that? Okay, because you are aware of the when once you become aware of the mind, and you can see that there is no I anything that is doing it. The point is that it's the mind itself. That's how you can sort of detach yourself from this identification, the self-identification. Okay, because that is a really, really important concept about the non-self. All right, because since people are attached to this self I, as long as you are attached to this I, self I, I'm thinking, the mind, I am this, I'm the doer. As long as there's that attachment, it's difficult to get yourself away from all the suffering that the self I is getting itself into. Okay, so once you start to recognize the function of the mind, become aware of all this phenomenon that's happening, then you become mindful. So mindful happens after awareness. All right, first you aware of your emotion, because the emotion rise up, and then it generates speech, it generates action or karma, right? Okay, so when you become aware of your emotion, right, of your thinking that create emotion, and when the emotion arise, you become aware, then you become mindful of it, of because you know the feeling or the emotion generate speech and action, right? And now you become mindful of what you say. You can become mindful of what you do, right? But in order for you to be mindful of what you say or what you do, first you have to be aware of the emotion here first, right? When you're aware of the emotion, you can become mindful of it, and you can decide in a way whether to speak or not to speak. Okay, so now you become mindful of your own action, right? So mindful come after awareness. Awareness is the forefront, is the catch-all. It's a catch-all force, right? Before anything happens, when unwholesome thing arise, and you become aware of unwholesome things that can generate negative result, you become aware of it. Now you become mindful. You're not doing it because you understand that, oh, this is part of the ignorance that I was not aware of before. But now I am aware that there is no I doing it, but the mind is doing the reacting automatically, right? For example, another example, let's say you go to watch movie or you watch some kind of TV show or comedy show. Do you do the talking, or do you think or sit there? If they do like this, I'm gonna be upset with the actor. When they do like this, I'm gonna cry. When they do like this, I'm gonna laugh. You don't think about that, right? You just sit there and let this react automatically, naturally, right? So you're not doing anything. The mind does all the interaction. You see? Now, when you become aware of it, you say, okay. When the mind see that, the mind becomes joyful. When the mind see that, the mind becomes upset. Okay? So that is the first step. Having sati, having awareness of your own mind, having awareness of your own emotion. Okay? So that's what I like to share with you all today. This little episode is about having awareness, what awareness is, and what mindfulness is, and when do the two happen, whether they're the same or not. Now you know awareness happens first, and then it becomes mindful. You become mindful because now you are aware of it, right? You cannot be mindful of something that you're not aware of it first. You have to be aware of something first before you can be mindful to whatever, to the speech that you say, or to the action that you do. All right. So if you have any question or comment, you feel free to leave me a comment down there. And until next time, I like to pay respect to the triple gems. I like to pay respect to the Buddha. I like to pay respect to the Dharma. And I like to pay respect to the Sangha. Namaste.